You ever find yourself having a debate with your friends about something that you completely thought was a no-brainer to the point it like blows your mind to find how some people really think?
You mean a debate with somebody that you know is wrong and you are right?
Yes.
Is this based in opinion or fact?
Opinion. It is based in opinion, which is why I think it's an interesting debate to have. But it all surrounded, is it actually possible for somebody to be a quote-unquote homewrecker? So this all started because I have a friend who I've spoken about him on the show in the past. He will never admit this to someone, but he doesn't mind that I tell people because it's genuinely how he feels. And he knows he's wrong. He knows that people would judge him for it. He really doesn't care. The way he lives his life is he only dates women who are taken. That is his thing. And his reasoning is he was in a really, really serious relationship once. She broke his heart, shattered it into pieces, like a lot of us. He's been in that situation.
So he's going to do as much damage as he can before he leaves this earth.
That's one way to look at it.
Okay.
In his mind, and I'm going to try to represent him right because he feels like I didn't last time.
They never do.
I know. So in his mind, and this is how the home record debate started. He feels like, it's like I've heard people say this and I hate when they say it, but they're going to do it anyway. Like these women who are going to step out of their relationship or step out of their marriage, they're going to do it. Whether it's him or it's someone else, they're going to do it. And he knows it's selfish, but he enjoys being in situations where he does not have the commitment piece. He does not have to worry about if he's being cheated on, what she's doing, what she's not doing. He doesn't have the stress that comes with being in a relationship and constantly having to grow together and going through things. He rather just have these relationships with these women that are involved and he's there whenever they need him. And that's it for him. Like, that's the way he wants to live his life. So someone in the group was like, but bro, that makes you a homewrecker. Like, you're a professional homewrecker. It's like literally what you do. And he said, no, I'm not. I can't be a homewrecker. No one can be a homewrecker. So we obviously are like, wait, what? So he says the reason being he feels like if the way that you wreck a home is if you go into the home and it's solid and you break it all apart. You tear it down. Like you almost make the person do something they didn't already want to do. He doesn't feel like he does that because he feels like if a home is solid and two people are happy together, it's not going to happen. Like that man or that woman is not going to step out of that home because you cannot wreck a solid home. That's why it's solid. But these women that he talks to, the home is already not solid. Mm-hmm. They'll come to you and tell you that. Like they're not happy, they're being cheated on, they're over the guy, whatever the case, the home is already wrecked. He feels like by the time he gets there, he is just basically doing what he's doing, but that home was wrecked long before he got there.
Okay, so I see his point in it, and the truth of the matter is, if you are committed in a relationship, then you're committed in a relationship. However, if the temptation wasn't there by somebody else, I mean, every relationship is going to have peaks and valleys, right? So if you hit this relationship while it's at a valley right there, you were given an opportunity at temptation at a very vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean like the relationship sucks or the house has a bad foundation. Yeah, it has a crack, right? Mm-hmm. But also if it doesn't rain, you're not going to have a leak.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm on that side of it. But in his mind, he feels as if that crack is already there to where it's possible, then the home is not solid.
Now, I feel like this is his way of skirting accountability. And like, listen, when it comes to infidelity of like couples who are married, if you want to, point the finger at the other person, the side piece, whatever, I don't agree with that. Like the person who's in the marriage is the one who made the commitment and the obligation and is the one that is solely responsible for maintaining said commitment. But you can't completely skirt responsibility and accountability when you are engaging with people who are in committed relationships, married or not. Like, sorry, bro, you're a homewrecker.
All right, homewreckers unite. 1-855-BERT Show. If you don't think like, hey, it's not my fault. House was cracked. They were vulnerable. I started the relationship where I only date married men or married women. 1-855-BERT Show.
if the house is cracked, like I agree, it takes two to tango and it's on both parties, but the house is cracked, you can either be the wrecking ball that comes in or you can be the repairman that comes in and helps fix it. And you're choosing to be the wrecking ball. If I walk by a business at night and it's closed and they left the door and the windows wide open, that doesn't mean I can go in there and steal a bunch of stuff just because, there was a crack in the window and it wasn't open. I still know that's not a line that you cross. So, I mean, that might be his choice and, live your life. But at the same time, I don't think you can argue that you don't have something to do with the dismantling of the marriage when you are a key piece in that equation.
This is the wussification of side pieces. You need to own up to what you're doing.
So it's interesting that you said repair or wreck because we had this conversation on the show once too, where him, like some of the people that called up, said that the relationships that they've stepped in, some of the time, it helps. Like it actually fixes the marriage when the person that's cheating is cheating. Because he said something to me that was interesting. I told him, I feel like if you're flirting or going further than that with someone you know is taken, you can't say that you're not a homewrecker. Like if you're doing it knowingly, you are. But then he said, aren't you the same person that said a cheater's going to cheat regardless? Which I have. Like I don't think people have to go on vacations to cheat. Like if you want to cheat, you're going to cheat. So in his mind, if they going to cheat anyway, then the wreck has already happened. I'm just the guy who comes in and makes it possible.
I feel like that's just like a lazy excuse to do what you're doing.
Hey, Jessica, good morning. You're on the Bert Show. Hi.
Hi, good morning, guys. I agree with the guy, I will say 90%. My husband stepped out on me a few years ago, and I was extremely mad. I was very hurt. But for whatever reason, you tend to hate the other person. Like, I want to kill her kind of thing. However, she doesn't own you, and she didn't own anything to me. He was the one who stepped out. He disrespected me. It was not her responsibility. Now, in his case, he's just the way that's what he does, and that's wrong because a person can be very vulnerable and have that issue. But he's not a home breaker. Whoever cheats is the home breaker because you are breaking your own home. It's nobody else's responsibility to take care of your people except yours.
Okay.
So,
appreciate you calling. Abby, where you stand?
How he feels.
So for me, I think it's like 75-25. Like I think within the home, it's 75% your responsibility because you know how that home is standing up. You know if there's cracks in the ceiling. You know if there's a leak in the faucet. But at the same time, I agree in the sense that if there is a temptation so great, it is going to exacerbate some of those problems in the home. And I think, for example, Ariana Grande is the perfect example of whether or not you can be a homewrecker or not, because from what I've read, every relationship that she's been in, she has always taken somebody else's boyfriend. And at what point do you look in the mirror and go, I'm noticing a pattern here that I'm constantly taking somebody else's man? And of course, it's Ariana Grande. That 75% is going to start to look a little bit more like 10% and more 90% Ariana Grande.
The Bert Show.